Alright, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what to do. It's 8:30 p.m. on the east, 5:30 p.m. on the west. But right here on the east coast of Canada, on the line, we got the one, the only, the king of the underground. We got Don's Day of M.D.S. How you doing this evening?
Yeah. It's good, it's good.
Oh man, I'm doing great, bro. I hope everything's all good out in New York.
Yeah, I'm in Mass right now. I'm in Springfield, Mass. Everything good right now. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. But I gotta ask you, man, what made you decide to get into the music industry initially?
Well, shit, that's a long story, but short version of it was my family always been rooted into the music. You know what I'm saying? My mother was a DJ. You know, my cousins, had studios. Way back when. The breakdancing days. I was a little shorty watching all that. So I've always been influenced by the hip hop culture in general, and music saved me through a lot of tough situations. So music is always gonna be a part of me. That's how I started, like 12 years old. Really getting serious with it at like 12, perfecting my craft.
Do you still have like old recordings of yourself when you were 12, like rapping and whatnot, to actually compare to your progress today?
Well, not really when I'm 12. Those are like cassette tapes and, reel to reels, those joints are lost and all that, unfortunately. But I have some music like from like the 90s that I still compare myself to now. You know what I'm saying?
And also, as I already mentioned, you are a member of the group M.D.S. But I have to ask you, tell us the story behind that group, man. Like, how did you get connected with the other members?
So M.D.S., man. Shout out to M.D.S., man. Joe Mack, Bunny Stone, they doing their thing. We doing our thing. So M.D.S. came about like me and Joe Mack had been connected for a little bit, and we was working on a few projects. And the same thing with Bonnie Stone. We've been connected for a few, and she was working on her project, and I was helping her work on that project as well. And she had this record that we had did together called Creamy. You see it now. It's out now. It's hitting the streets crazy. I brought that over to Joe Mack's house. I went over to record in his spot. I brought that record over there, and I just said, yo, you got to hear this. I put it on, boom. He was like, yo, that shit crazy right there. I was like, yo, I think she's the hottest female out right now, nigga. I said, we're going to talk later, but I think we need to do something all together. You know what I'm saying?
And man, after that, it's history. You know what I mean? You guys met, you guys got connected, and boom, M.D.S.
Well.
You know what? It's always great when things just happen to come together. You know what I mean? By the sounds of that, you're at the right place, the right time, and you guys just connected.
No doubt. It was meant to be.
So I gotta ask you, man, pertaining to M.D.S., are you guys currently working on a group project right now? And of course, man, like, where can we find M.D.S.'s newest project?
M.D.S. newest project is streaming on all platforms. And you can find it everywhere. Yes, we are working on a project that will be out definitely before the ball drops. We have so many songs already. We're just picking through them, skimming through them, and figuring out what we're gonna put on the project. But the project's called No Remorse, and it's gonna be crazy. We only dropped No Remorse single. We dropped the video. And we dropped M.D.S. anthem in the video. So the third video and the third single we're gonna drop for this project is gonna be crazy. Stay tuned for that. That's gonna be nuts. You know what I'm saying? But right now I got a single that's dropping on September 11th. It's me featuring Joe Mack and featuring Glaciers Glenn. It's called Pray, produced by King David from Virginia. Knocked the video out, but Sunday, but that'll be out soon. It's gonna be crazy.
And speaking of Joe Mack, man, one of my favorite songs that you guys both did together is actually called Professional, man. I have to ask you, tell us the story behind that song, man. What's the inspiration behind it?
Professional it's produced by Gotti Gator. Shout out to Gotti Gator. Me, Bonnie, and Mac went over to Gotti Gator's spot, and we were just listening to beats. And that one came on, man, and it was like instantly verses were already done, So it was just crazy. So that one got tucked in the chamber, and I laid my verse down, I believe, like maybe like 3 days after we got the beat. That's how hard that beat was. You know what I'm saying? And then I put my man VP Living on it. He's from Connecticut, man. That's my dude right there. It's my brother. He came through, he blessed the hook, and he just went crazy on that track,
And the one thing I gotta touch base on, because I saw this on your Facebook, about an up-and-coming movie titled Stay Fly. I have to ask you, are you a part of that project? And of course, man, if you are, what can our listeners expect from that movie when it does drop to the general public?
Oh, stay fly. Word. Shout out to Steve Sticks. That movie will be dropping next year, springtime. It's featuring a lot of actors in it. Hoops is in there. I don't know if y'all remember Hoops. Hoops is in that joint from what was that Flavor of Love, one of them shits back in the day. But yeah, Hoops is on there. I'm definitely in the movie. My character's a pretty dope character, man. So stay tuned for that. And, this is my second movie I'm actually in. So I'm trying to get more into the acting, myself. But that shit, it's dope. It's a dope movie. Stay fly, man. It's dope.
And I'm gonna say this, man, because we got a lot of individuals like that. We got all types of individuals listen to the radio station, man. From artists to publicists to managers. We have tons of people that do listen. And if there is out there, whether it's live or on demand, if there is people that that are looking for to hire actors for their projects, man, how can people get a hold of you? Just to be able to send you their script to see if you're interested in the project.
Oh yeah, you can get a hold of me. Domsday@gmail.com. Just hit me up. Facebook, IG, Twitter. I'm on all that Domsday. So just linking me that way. Definitely, I would love to work with anybody with these films and stuff like that. I'm down for all that. It's a good thing.
And I also noticed that you were featured in Nightmare's Money Getters. I have to ask you, how did you get connected with Nightmare, man? And of course, what was it like working with him?
Nightmare, that's my brother too. Nightmare is great. Working with him was crazy. We did like 2 projects together. We actually went to school together, like 8th grade knucklehead, 9th grade knucklehead shit, and when we finally linked back up as adults, we haven't rapped together since back then, and we got together as adults, and that shit was like magic. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nightmare. Definitely trying to get him on the M.D.S project right now. You know what I'm saying? And actually, me, Bonnie, and Nightmare have tracks together. That's crazy.
So I gotta ask you, man, is there any current projects coming out with yourself and Nightmare?
We're working on right now Life is a Cowboy Part 3. It's the last project from our little saga. So that's definitely in the works. That's after the ball drop, most definitely. Oh, also, my man, shout out to my man Mindframe, man. Mindframe got a project coming out called Serious Addiction Volume 2. I'm on that project. It's crazy.
And also, back in November, man, you actually released the video for Streets Calling, which I have to say, man, such a powerful, powerful video. Man, I have to ask you, what was it like filming that music video? And of course, where can our listeners actually check it out?
Streets is Calling is like one of my favorite joints. Yeah, you can check that out on all platforms. So you can get that, download that Dawn's Day, Streets Calling. That video I shot that in LA. So that video was real dope. You know what I'm saying? This kid, Darius, made his family. He's real dope. He's on the move. He's doing his thing. He shot that video, and I like that video a whole lot. Just the whole thing behind the song and the singing and what it means to me is dope. That song's gonna be on my project that's coming out later on this year. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to say it was a fucking phenomenal video, man. I gotta say it was very well shot. So shout out to that guy.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man.
And I also noticed that you worked on the Mass State of Mind Part 3 album with DJ Dirty White. I have to ask you, how did you get connected with White?
That's my dude right there, man. Yeah. Shout out to DJ Dirty White. He has a project right now called Civil Unrest, hosted by M.D.S. That's out right now, too.
I have to ask you, man, how did you get connected with Dirty White?
Me and Dirty White knew each other for a little while, too. Like, school, like, I'm talking about, I'm talking like 6th grade, man, like doing talent shows, shit like that. That's how we stay connected. So he always been on his shit, his DJ shit, his rap shit. He's actually nice. He's a nice ass MC, man. He's dope. You got him spit. He's crazy.
So I gotta ask you, Dons, what's next for you, man? Is there anything else I happen to miss during this interview? Like anything else that you actually want to promote while we still have you here live on the radio?
Yeah, go get that Heat Wave. It's on all platforms right now, digital platforms. Heat Wave, Don Mula. That dropped that last year. It's still a classic. Rolly Movato's on there. You can get like all that heat wave. You heard? Go get that. Also look out for M.D.S project that's coming. It's gonna be hard. Shout out to Bonnie Stone. Shout out to Joe Mack. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that showed love. Shout out to the M.D.S fans. Shout out to the Don's Day fans. Shout out to Johnny Casanova, BP Living. You know what I'm saying? Bullet Beats, Gotti, Blaze. Let's get it.
And so, Dons, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM airwaves. Just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. And also, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated everything Don's Day and M.D.S. if they're not already doing so.
No doubt. You already know M.D.S. on all streaming platforms. Don's Day @gmail.com. Don's Day on Twitter. Don's Day on IG. Don's Day on Facebook. And like I said, I appreciate the love, family, man. It's all love. And I think I got all my shout-outs in there, man. Oh, one more thing. Shout out to Jay Stacks. We just recorded a crazy, crazy video that's on her project called Faded. That's dropping, too. So a lot of videos coming, my man. A lot of projects coming, like, nonstop. And when the ball drops, it's going to pick up. You know what I'm saying? And you can go faster. So I got to come where you at, though. That's where I'm trying to come. Where you at?
Hey, man, most definitely. We got some love for hip-hop. But before I let you go, man, you know, you provided us with a track. You know, it was actually the M.D.S. Anthem remix, fresh, hot off the press, man. And I want you, if you can, man, tell our listeners a little bit more about what they're going to hear right here, right now, man. Because I took a little glimpse at it, man, and they got a slapper coming towards them. But I want them to hear it from you.
Now you said the M.D.S. remix. You sure that's the one I sent you?
You sent the Uptown Anthem. You said the Anthem remix.
Oh, yeah, that's a remake of the 90 by Nature joint. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's me right there. You heard that, so you heard it.
Oh, most definitely, right, man. It's a slapper.
Yeah, so that joint right there is called Up Top. You know, 90 by Nature was one of my favorite groups back then. So I just remade this joint. You know what I'm saying? So this shit slaps hard. And it's hip hop. I'm feeling like hip hop, you know what I mean? Real hip hop-ish, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what that's about. So that's not, you know, it's not M.D.S. That's just me, you know what I'm saying? But it still slaps hard. You feel me?
And I also gotta say, man, I don't know if you noticed, but tomorrow night you got Uncle Vin Rock of Naughty by Nature taking over the airwaves, man. So yeah, man, we got some East Coast legends, man. So it's most definitely gonna be a dope night, man. And you know, I'll make sure when I talk to Vinny that I bring this track up to him, man, if you like me to.
Man, for real, I'm gonna be listening. Word.
Hey, man, most definitely, man. I'm going to play this track now, but thank you so much, Dons. Have yourself a wonderful night, man. Be safe out in the States, and most definitely, man, keep in touch.
No doubt. Appreciate it. All love, homie.
One love.